The local animal shelter actually runs two thrift shops in different cities, and this one tends to have more vintage and antiques than the other. I don't know why, if that is deliberate or if it's just the good old stuff gets donated here and the other stuff gets donated in the other small town. Whatever the case, I visit both of them when I get a chance because they are fun and they almost always have neat things to look at. These little night lights caught my attention, and I had never seen one like them before, but since I saw these, I've seen others. So I'm not sure if they're new or old, but they definitely remind me of all of the vintage embroidery patterns that I love with the personified dishes and vegetables, and they were really cute. A lot of the stuff in the shop tends to stay. They don't have a constant turnover. This little lamp caught my attention because I think that it had some kind of mechanism that would make the little girl's rocking chair rock. She's sitting there with her knitting and he had his fiddle, so I think there was some way to make them move, but I didn't investigate enough to try to see if I could get it to work. Because I feel like if you're not going to actually buy the thing, maybe you shouldn't mess with it too much. Love the reproduction bed warmer, not enough to pay what they were asking for it, and of all the things I don't need, a reproduction bed warmer is probably high on the list of things I can't justify buying, right along with that pretty vanity set. But it is fun to look, and now and then I find the thing I cannot live without. This was one ornate clawfoot leg from a piece of furniture. I don't know if that was a chair leg, and I don't know what you would do with that for $10. If you have an idea, please let me know, because short of having the piece of furniture that had 3 matching legs and needing another one, I don't understand that one. I'm a little puzzled by it. Like this, what would you call this? I mean, it's for hanging coats. Is it a coat rack? It's an oar, and I always like nautical stuff. Didn't love the color palette of that one. It was very teal, and makes me wonder if it had been painted for a room that did have that same color scheme. I spend way too much time trying to imagine the rooms that stuff came out of. They have a fairly substantial craft section compared to the other thrift stores on my usual route, but these kits have been here. I don't know when I last filmed a video here, but most of these kits were there then too. They don't seem to turn over at all. And I'm assuming maybe they have the patience and the space to just wait until someone comes around and buys them, which honestly is better than them getting hurried out to the landfill. I'm not complaining at all that they don't get rid of the things that don't sell immediately, but I wish they'd have something new. I love the old crewel, but I'm not a fan of the pieces where most of the design is already printed on the fabric. I did wind up picking up this little wool applique kit because it was super inexpensive, and the colors and subject matter aren't really up my alley, but I've been wanting to try it and it was dirt cheap, so I brought it home, and I don't know that I couldn't tea dye that or do something to tone down the Eastery pastels a bit. I know you can dye wool with like Kool-Aid. I just haven't done the research to see if I can do what I want to do, and I would probably experiment with a couple of the scraps anyway. They have so many multiples of these vintage kits that it really confuses me. I saw some of these Hummel crewel kits at a different store, didn't buy them, went back and they were gone, and then I found probably the same kits at this store, and I don't know why I talked myself out of it. There was some logic there that I can't remember right now. Which is okay because I really cannot bring home every needlework kit that catches my eye. Lots more crewel. It's almost all by the same companies, so I always want to know the story behind the stuff in the thrift store. Do you do that? They had a whole bunch of needlepoint yarn, and it probably would have been a great deal. I did not know what colors I needed for those ballerinas on the canvas I bought a while back, and thought about looking and going back, but didn't make it. It might still be there. It's been a few weeks since I filmed this, and I never got around to narrating it. They have lots of stuff on their porch outside, lots of baskets. I am trying to find some books from my own childhood that I lost when we had a closet ceiling leak years and years ago. I should have started looking 20 years ago when we had the leak, because I'm sure my odds of finding them have decreased considerably since then. So many wooden stamps. All of the thrift stores that I visit seem to have just hundreds of them. And for someone, I can imagine for someone who's still into stamping that these would be a great windfall, but that's not me, not today. I used to think I wanted wooden stamps. Took me way too long to figure out what was going on with this plate. And I'm still kind of puzzled by I get the point of the plate, but some of the food choices just really confuse me a bit. Do you put onion and parsnip on the plate without doing a lot to it first? More so the parsnip than the onion, I guess. I need to find a reason to buy myself some pretty decorative plates, because I keep finding them and falling in love with them. And aren't those birds and flowers just absolutely gorgeous? And then that slightly flower petally shape, I could really love those. Luckily, I have gotten very, very good at walking away from the pretty plates. I'm secretly hoping that next summer I will find an estate sale where they're selling everything by the bag and have some designer plates, and I'll be able to buy them without worrying about the money I'm spending. It interests me that I spent so much time looking at the children's books and then went straight past the yarn, but it's easier to tell from a distance what the yarn is than children's books, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle with Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and I'll be back with you again soon.